Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us once again here on this very important platform where we discuss everything Africa. It's always exciting, of course, to have these conversations that shape our lives literally, from the politics of Africa to the air that we breathe, the quality of the water we drink. Everything is just so important, and that's why you should care when we discuss Africa. Of course, I'm not here by myself. I have my regular co-host right here. Aniete Unyime is right here in the studio with us. We would be navigating stories across the continent, how it affects you, what you too can do to contribute to ensure that this beautiful continent of ours is saved, if that's the word, because I've been hearing a lot of people say how Africa at the moment needs saving. So we must all put our hands together, put our hands on deck to save. If to you find out that it's in that kind of a situation.
I don't know what you guys are saving. First and foremost, good morning Nigeria, good morning Africa. Africa is already safe. We just need a few dots.
Not safety, but save it from the issues that we have.
Oh, I think I understand now. And if it's that, I think I'll join
the world to save Africa.
I'll join it. I think we would probably get to make it a movement so that we would enforce it. Yesterday, I had a discussion with someone about someone in the Bible, and the man is Ezekiah. And we realized that
I don't know any Bible stories.
Yeah, of course.
So if you're expecting, you're looking at
the idea was that Ezekiel actually had a movement to rebuild the walls of Israel, and at the end of the day,
the Jericho ones.
Yeah, no, not the Jericho ones.
Right.
Israel. So at the end of the day, he had that wall rebuilt and the temple rebuilt. And just a step away from it, he returned and he saw that they had taken in foreign bodies into the temple. And he did what a whole lot of persons wouldn't have done.
I don't understand. What do you mean by foreign bodies? You are bad at telling stories. You would not want to. At the end of the day, what you're trying to say is that we can always
we can always enforce a movement to be able to restore what we need to restore in Africa.
That ends the story in Ejaka. Thank you very much.
I know you will not love it. I'll tell stories.
You're just terrible at telling stories.
Telling stories for me is actually very interesting, especially when you need to capture the mind. So I had to capture you, and you followed.
No, as I'm listening to you, I want you to get to why we are telling this story in the first place, because again, it's my fault. You're right. I have a short attention span. Or
no, for the fact that we are actually on Razep Africa, I think I'm trying to see how to build that long attention span for you.
Right.
I'll get it.
Speaking of Razep Africa, I am beginning to see the president of Ghana as the biggest Pan-African. The most Pan-African. If you put together all 54 states. Yes, I'm beginning to see, if you follow what he's been doing, ensuring reparation for slave trade, ensuring visa-free for Africans across board, giving opportunity to anyone of African descent. He gives you free citizenship in Africa. If you want an opportunity to live the African dream, you can come. He gives you free citizenship. These are initiatives that we must, all African countries, all African leaders must imbibe, because imagine the body language that he has sent. It will be difficult for what's happening in South Africa to happen in Ghana, even though we also recorded pockets of issues like that as well.
Well, maybe that will I wouldn't mind reporting for Razep Africa in Ghana. And I'll just take a stroll over there.
If you are sending subtle messages for me to send you on the report, of course that's open too. But as usual, today is Friday, and as you know, here on Razep Africa, we start with the African news update, and then we go to agriculture for today and tomorrow. That segment that gives you all you need to know about what's going on in the agricultural sector in Nigeria, how you can contribute and get updates on agricultural happenings. Well, Today we would start with the first story, go on a break, and then come back with agriculture for today and tomorrow. When that's done, we go back to reporting all the things happening across this continent. And we would begin in Nigeria, where fresh concerns are mounting over the country's healthcare workforce as new figures reveal that more than 10,000 Nigerian health professionals are now working in the United Kingdom's National Health Service. Now, this latest NHS data shows that 10,494 Nigerian doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and other healthcare workers are employed across Britain's public health system, making Nigerians one of the largest foreign medical workforce in the UK. The trend has reignited concerns over the continued brain drain affecting Nigeria's healthcare sector. Industry experts say the migration is being driven by better salaries, improved working conditions, and greater career opportunities abroad. While Nigerian professionals continue to earn praise for their contribution to NHS, health stakeholders at home warn that the steady loss of skills personnel is placing additional pressures on an already overstretched healthcare system, renewing calls for urgent reforms to improve staff welfare and retention. And that's a very interesting story right there, because we've had this conversation before.
Yeah. You could see my gesture.
And I find this is just the UK's data. If you go to the US, you would see staggering numbers of health professionals also. They double standards from these Western countries, the European countries. I cannot for the life of me, not discuss it. Don't come to our country, but come if you have only services that we need. But for you who wants to come, maybe even do sometimes legitimate businesses, you are treated like in fact, I think they have more regard for animals than they do African countries. So it gets to me when I have this conversation and our doctors are all in the national health sector. I cannot for the life of me understand. And this, unfortunately, because Africans have that mentality that it's only when the European countries, the Western countries, accept you that you're worthy. So African parents are doing everything they can to ensure that their children study medicine by all means, at all costs. Study medicine because of global opportunities for you. If you study anything else, they would not give you that much acceptance. It's almost as if, your country is bad, you do crime, you do crime, so don't come to our country. But if you're a doctor or a nurse, which are sectors that they want, you see them open their doors. Very annoying, very, very annoying.
Well, Joy, I think I had raised this concern, and it is coming up today, and I'm very glad that we are having this discussion today, because I think when I talked about it the other day, you said you were going to go look out for statistics and data to be able to make up for our discussion that day. I was very bold to have said that we have a whole lot of persons who have left Nigeria. And that is not because we do not have what it takes to be able to have them, but it is because we have failed as a country to be able to keep what we have actually trained and have. And some days ago, I even had to discuss with a friend of mine who is in Saudi Arabia. And as much as we know that, in this year, 2026, they've not really had crisis over there, but maybe before now they've had. But he still went ahead because of the working conditions, the remunerations, and name them, the things he stands to gain when it has to do with practicing what he had studied in Nigeria. I have a friend who's preparing to leave, who's preparing the whole Japa syndrome. He is a medical doctor. I have a lot of them who, because of what they studied, I'm talking about in the health sector, are leaving. And that is not because we do not have people here who need their services. But unfortunately, because we do not have a sector that is working, that could keep them here. So
Absolutely.
I think we'll probably talk about this more when we return.
Yeah,
So
we're going for a short break. When we come back, it will be time for agriculture for today and tomorrow, after which we continue this conversation. I will just end that conversation by saying that while we celebrate brain drain, there's an opportunity for brain gain. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. This is Razep Africa.
Welcome to Razep Africa, the heartbeat of the continent in one show. Here, we celebrate Africa not as a headline, but as a home full of ideas, courage, flavor, and future. This is where we talk about everything Africa. The politics that shape our nations, the innovations that shift our economies, the culture that colors our lives, the challenges we face with honesty, and the victories we are building one story at a time. On this show, no topic is swept aside. We are unfiltered and we are intentional. We bring you experts from across the continent and the world. Voices that know, voices that live the African experience, voices that are shaping the next chapter of our story. Let your spirit rise. We don't just tell Africa's story, we own it. Join Joy Asonye on Razep Africa, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Global Television. Welcome to Razep Africa, the heartbeat of the continent in one show. Here, we celebrate Africa not as a headline, but as a home full of ideas, courage, flavor, and future. This is where we talk about everything Africa. The politics that shape our nations, the innovations that shift our economies, the culture that colors our lives, the challenges we face with honesty, and the victories we are building one story at a time. On this show, no topic is swept aside. We are unfiltered and we are intentional. We bring you experts from across the continent and the world. Voices that know, voices that live the African experience, voices that are shaping the next chapter of our story. Let your spirit rise. We don't just tell Africa's story, we own it. Join Joy Asonye on Razep Africa, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Global Television.
In the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, StarTime Channel 276, or YouTube Livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow, where we promote smart solutions for a greener harvest. My name is Esther Itifia, your host. And remember, this is a media for the Agricultural Development Project of the GSAI initiative, that is the Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative, an NGO that is fully committed to promoting agricultural development, not just promoting it, but integrating sustainable, innovative, and profitable practices across Africa. Now it's Friday, and you know what that means. Friday on this show, we are dedicated to dissecting the trends that are actively reshaping the agricultural landscape. We look at the challenges, we explore the opportunities, and we zero in on practical solutions that genuinely matter to farmers, agribusinesses, policymakers, and yet you, the consumers. Today's conversation is one that hits close to home. It affects every single one of us, whether you live in the urban areas, the bustling cities, rural homestead, and rural communities. Our topic is a big one. It is from pasture to plate. Can Nigeria build a stronger livestock industry? Think about your last plate of jollof rice with a piece of chicken. Think about the beef in your weekend stew, the egg you fried for breakfast, and the milk you poured into your tea, even the fish that was part of your dinner. Livestock products are interwoven in our everyday lives. We consume them, we celebrate with them, and we rely on them for nourishment and protein. But I'm very sure that most of us have noticed something troubling. Every Nigerian must have noticed that the cost of these essential items just keep on climbing. The price of a crate of egg, a kilogram of chicken, a cut of beef is no longer what it used to be. So the pressing question is, why is this happening, and what is being done to change this narrative for the better? Let's find out. Why does livestock matter? Now, when many of us hear the word agriculture, we just think about vast fields of yam, cassava, or rice. They think of crop farming. But increasingly, livestock is becoming as equally important and a powerful engine that drives the other half of the agricultural sector. It provides us with far more than just meat. We get milk, egg, hides, and skin for the industry. And critically, manure, which is black gold for the soil. Yes, it provides organic manure that is used to improve the soil structure and provide essential nutrients for crops. But beyond that, livestock is a lifeline for millions of Nigerians. It is a direct source of employment and income for herders, farmers, and fishermen. It feeds massive value, the massive value chain. Processors, transporters, veterinarians, feed millers, market traders, and so many more. In essence, when we talk about livestock, we are talking about a major pillar of Nigeria's economy and a cornerstone of our national food security. It is not just about the animals, it is about the people and the livelihoods they sustain. So why are livestock products so expensive, we might ask? Many of you have probably asked this question, maybe with a sigh at the market when we hear the prices that keep on increasing. Why does buying a chicken now feel like you're trying to secure a bank loan? It is a fair question that everyone is asking, but there is no just one answer to this question. It is a storm of challenges that we face. First, let's look at the cost of production. A staggering portion of livestock expenses goes into feed. Ingredients like maize and soybean meal, which are staple diet for the poultry and other animals, have become significantly more expensive due to various economic pressures. So the prices have become so high because we have to get feed for the animals from maize, from soybean meal, which also increases due to disease, pest, and other factors in the crop production section of the agricultural sector. Then we also have the persistent threats of diseases. Outbreaks like avian influenza in poultry or other endemic diseases can decimate entire flocks and herds, leading to scarcity and a higher price margin. Let's not forget the logistical nightmare, the cost of transportation and the bad roads, having to transport this livestock and livestock byproducts to the market. This makes it more expensive to move animals and feed across the country. Security is another challenge. We have the fear of bandits and also armed robbers and thieves on the way who are poised, ever ready to steal and take away from the livestock farmers trying to navigate their crops from the farm to the market. Security in some regions disrupt grazing patterns and safe movement of these livestock. Climate change is also making its presence felt ever more even into this agriculture. It's reducing the availability of natural pasture in many areas. All these factors, from farm gates to the market store, They all add up, and ultimately they pinch the pockets of the final consumer, you and me. What is the government doing? We might want to ask. The good news is that we are not just sitting by. Nigeria is not just sitting by and watching. Serious efforts are underway to modernize and strengthen this vital sector, and the signs are actually very encouraging. One of the most significant recent developments come from the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development. Just this month, in June 2026, the ministry began a critical process, validating the National Livestock Information Management System, that is the NLIMS for short. This is a digital platform that will, for the first time, collect reliable real-time data from the livestock farmers on the livestock population, the market, animal structure, and infrastructure. Think of it as a smart sensors for animals. Just as how we have the human sensors that keep count of humans, this is going to be a smart sensors for our animals. With better data, the government can effectively plan, predict disease outbreaks, attract the right kind of investment, and build a much more stronger and more resilient livestock value chain. But that's not all. Earlier in June, the ministry also unveiled plans for an estate-based ranching program. It means that they're trying to eradicate or reduce the open grazing system of livestock feeding. This initiative is expected to not only promote more organized and modern livestock production, but also to create thousands of jobs for our teeming youths. And on the health front, they've partnered with the Food and Agricultural Organizations, that is the FAO, to boost our national response to diseases such as the avian influenza, protecting our poultry industry from devastating outbreak. Poultry farmers can agree with me that the losses in the poultry industry can be heartbreaking. Losses can even count up onto their thousands and millions. Millions of birds can be wiped out even within a week due to disastrous diseases. These initiatives show that livestock development is finally receiving the high-level national attention that it deserves. So let's go on a short break, and when we come back, we will look at further intermediations and practices that the government is putting in place to ensure that livestock production becomes very significant and controlled. When we come back, we're going to look ahead on how we can explore cutting technology, groundbreaking research, and smarter policies that are paving way for a stronger livestock industry for all Nigerians. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
In the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, Start Time Channel 276, or YouTube Livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Welcome back from the break, everyone. Before the break, we considered the challenges facing the livestock sector. We talked about rising costs, disease, and insecurity. But now, let's look to the future with hope and ambition. The role of research and technology in the livestock sector is one way we can improve the efficiency of the livestock sector. Technology is no longer just for the IT sector as we used to know. It is making a significant impact in the livestock industry. We are seeing a revolution on farms. Forward-thinking farmers are now using digital tools for record keeping, automated feeders to reduce waste, climate-controlled houses to keep the poultry comfortable and productive, especially during the heat, and also health monitoring systems that allow them to alert the sick animals and also show visible signs of unhealthy animals before they spread to all the livestock. We have veterinarians now that are leveraging on these digital reporting tools for real-time disease surveillance, helping them to contain outbreaks before they spread. The scientists are not resting either. Prestigious research institutes like the National Veterinarian Research Institute, along with our federal universities, are on the front line. They are developing better and more effective vaccines, improving animal health protocols, and providing farmers with the knowledge they need to succeed through dedicated extension services. Technology is empowering our farmers to raise healthier animals with greater efficiency and less waste. So the farmers do not need to guess again if their animals are sick. They are able to detect quickly due to these digital tools for monitoring and surveillance of the livestock health. We also look at another hope for the young farmers emerging into agriculture. Often when we say agriculture, the young people always think it is back-breaking labor and just tilling the soil and suffering. But the livestock sector is brimming with tons of opportunities that doesn't even require you owning a single animal. You can build a thriving business through modern poultry and fish farming, from small to medium production with high returns. Feed manufacturing is the order of the day. The demand for quality and affordable feed is enormous. Veterinary services are required even more today, a critical need with a shortage of qualified professionals. Hatchery options. We can provide essential inputs for the farmers, even help to hatch the poultry, the chicks for farmers to grow from chick to maturity and for sale. Livestock transportation. Providing logistics is also a way and young ones can tune into agribusiness. Specialized services for moving animals safely. Meat processing and packaging is becoming the order of the day. Instead of going through the hassle of slaughtering, dressing, and taking down from the market to the house, meat processors can now process these animals and package them for ease for the consumers. Tapping into this growing demand for hygienic packaged meats is also an opportunity for the young ones. We have digital livestock management. Young ones can also develop apps and software to track production, health, and the market. Agriculture today is not just about farming. It's not just being physically on the field or at the pen. It is about building a business along the entire value chain. The future is bright for young and innovative minds. What does the road ahead look like? So, what will it take to build a stronger, resilient, and more important, improved livestock industry? It requires more than just increasing numbers of animals. We need a comprehensive approach, strategic and comprehensive approach, in fact. Nigeria needs better animal health services. For example, easy access to affordable veterinary care, even reduce and subsidize cost on these veterinary inputs such as the drugs for the animals. Affordable feed is very important because without feed, the livestock cannot be fattened up for harvest. So Nigeria has to help to support the local feed manufacturers, and also alternative feed and an alternative source of protein for animal feed is also very important. Modern ranching systems. Just like we looked at earlier, the Livestock Production Department, Ministry of Livestock Production, is looking at modern ranching systems to move away from the open grazing. We all agree that the open grazing is becoming increasingly difficult, not just for the herders but also for the farmers, as they keep looking for vegetations to support their livestock. So we're looking at moving away from the open grazing to organized and more sustainable ranching. Stronger disease surveillance. A robust early warning system to prevent outbreak is needed so that before it even occurs, prevention can be taken. Better market access is important because what is the use of a farmer training their livestock from day one down to harvest and there's no available market to buy this product? So we can also help in strengthening the connection between farmers to processors and consumers. The private sector investment also needs to improve. Capital to scale up operations and adopt new technologies is needed. Also, continued government support, just as the government is doing through the Ministry of Livestock Production. We need smart policies and consistent funding for research and development. When all these elements come together, the result is a win-win. Farmers become more productive and profitable, and also motivated to increase their scale of production. Consumers enjoy more stable and affordable food supplies, and the entire national economy benefits from a thriving agricultural sector. So, my dear listeners, let us return to our big question. Can Nigeria build a stronger livestock industry? The answer is a resounding yes, but that yes is conditional. It requires a united effort. It requires collaboration among the government, our brilliant researchers, private sector investors, and most importantly, you, the farmers. A thriving livestock sector means more than just meat and milk. It translates to more jobs, improved nutrition for our families, stronger rural communities, and a much greater level of food security for our nation. As the wise saying goes, healthy animals are the foundation of a healthy community. Thank you for joining us and taking the time to listen. It has been another enlightening edition of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow. I remain your host, Esther Itifia. Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep growing. Let's build that sustainable future. Thank you.
In the heart of our field lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions from the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe. Agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 11:15 a.m. Mondays and Fridays on Global TV, Channel 365 DSTV, StarTime Channel 276, or YouTube Livestream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Welcome to Razep Africa, the heartbeat of the continent in one show. Here, we celebrate Africa not as a headline, but as a home full of ideas, courage, flavor, and future. This is where we talk about everything Africa. The politics that shape our nations, the innovations that shift our economies, the culture that colors our lives, the challenges we face with honesty, and the victories we are building one story at a time. On this show, no topic is swept aside. We are unfiltered and we are intentional. We bring you experts from across the continent and the world. Voices that know, voices that live the African experience, voices that are shaping the next chapter of our story. Let your spirit rise. We don't just tell Africa's story, we own it. Join Joy Asonye on Razep Africa, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Global Television. Welcome to Razep Africa, the heartbeat of the continent in one show. Here, we celebrate Africa not as a headline, but as a home full of ideas, courage, flavor, and future. This is where we talk about everything Africa. The politics that shape our nations, the innovations that shift our economies, the culture that colors our lives, the challenges we face with honesty, and the victories we are building one story at a time. On this show, no topic is swept aside. We are unfiltered and we are intentional. We bring you experts from across the continent and the world. Voices that know, voices that live the African experience, voices that are shaping the next chapter of our story. Let your spirit rise. We don't just tell Africa's story, we own it. Join Joy Asonye on Razep Africa, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. to 12 noon on Global Television.
Welcome back from that. That was agriculture for today and tomorrow. We have learned so much about agriculture, and today I think the concentration was on poultry farm, and it was good to see that. Well, you should go into agriculture.
Yeah, I know. I'm already into agriculture. It's just the fact that you probably have not visited my farms.
If you were into agriculture, I know you would have said something.
Oh, okay. I'm actually into agriculture. The problem is that I'm presently far away from my farm, and that is why.
What do you farm?
Oh yeah, everything that's edible. Cassava. Talk about the plantains.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have about 10 stands of coconut trees, and okay, yeah. From there we do a whole lot of palm oil, and so I think recently we are thinking of going into fishery and also poultry. That will be an extension, but I mean it's quite far from where I am at the moment, and that is the reason.
So how do you manage? I mean, how do you manage?
Okay, so I have people who take time to go there and run around the entire farm, try to see how to make sure that it's up and doing. So
you manage it from Abuja. That's nice to know.
Right. Man must eat.
Absolutely.
And, the Holy Book again, I refer.
Yeah, you're such a spiritual person today.
All right. So the Holy Book says, the Bible says,
all right, let's go back.
Man was made for food, and the tummy for food for the tummy.
Right.
But all of them will
well, speaking about food, let's move on to health. Still talking about stories across Africa this morning. So we're still talking about health. We're talking about the brain drain and over 10,000 Nigerian doctors working in the UK. Well, still talking about health, attention now turns to Central Africa, where efforts to contain Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo have entered a new phase. The World Health Organization has announced clinical trials for 2 potential Ebola treatments as confirmed infections surpass 1,000. The trials expected to begin next week in Uturi province would evaluate whether antiviral drugs can reduce deaths caused by the rare Bundibugyo strain from which no approved vaccine or treatment currently exists. WHO Director Tedros Ghebreyesus says the organization is working closely with communities to ensure that they understand the trials and can benefit if the treatment proves effective. More than 1,000 cases and over 270 deaths have already been recorded, with between 500 and 1,000 patients expected to participate in the study. Now, as health authorities intensify the search for solution, the Congolese government is also tightening travel measures to prevent further international spread of the virus. Authorities have introduced a mandatory 21-day monitoring period for anyone returning from Ebola-affected areas before international travel is permitted. The new regulation also applied to health workers and emergency responders who must receive official approval before traveling abroad. The tougher restrictions follow France's confirmation of its first imported Ebola case linked to the current outbreak after a humanitarian doctor reportedly developed symptoms during a commercial flight from Kinshasa. Officials hope the enhanced screening measures would help reduce the risk of cross-border transmission.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we should just go to the next story right away as we're moving from public health. Let's go to South Africa that says it's taking firm steps to prevent violence ahead of planned nationwide anti-immigration protests. President Cyril Ramaphosa has warned that security agencies would act decisively against anyone attempting to destabilize the country during demonstration scheduled for June 30th. Authorities have strengthened security nationwide amid fears of renewed xenophobic violence following weeks of unrest that has already claimed several lives. The anti-migrant campaign has prompted thousands of foreign nationals from countries including Malawi, Mozambique, Ghana, and Nigeria to return home voluntarily. Aid organizations have also raised concerns over worsening humanitarian conditions as makeshift camps continue to grow in Durban and Johannesburg while migrants await transportation back to their countries. Now, the issue of migration also features prominently in the Horn of Africa, where European Union has announced new visa restriction for Somali nationals. Under the temporary measure, EU member states will suspend issuance of multiple entry visas to Somali citizens, while visa processing times will increase from 15 to 45 days. The restriction excludes holders of diplomatic and official service passports. The European Union says the decision reflects Somalia's insufficient cooperation in accepting the return of its nationals who are staying illegally in European countries. Officials say the measures would remain under review and could be eased if cooperation improves. Finally, we go to Ghana. Ghana is expanding its strategy to maximize returns from its gold industry. Beginning in July, large-scale mining companies will be required to sell 30% of their gold outputs to the state under a new agreement aimed at strengthening foreign exchange reserve and boosting local gold refining. Government officials say the policy would support efforts to build domestic refining capacity and help Ghana secure international accreditation for locally refined gold by 2030. The initiative also forms part of its broader plans to increase the country's gold reserves while adding greater value to one of its most important natural resource. That right there ends today's edition. That's it for those stories right there. We'll just do, for me, the story that jumped out at for me was what's happening in Johannesburg. It's sensational, I know. However, I saw a friend of mine who is in South Africa at the moment has been promoting some sort of counter protest from the anti-immigrant protest. Right. So as you come discuss, to come protest and demonstrate that foreigners should leave, there are also others who are going to counter that protest to show that it's not all Africans, or South Africans rather, that support this move. We believe that foreign nationals are welcome in our country, especially black foreign nationals, and that's what we must at all times keep in view. The Nigerian foreign minister had said, and she captured it very succinctly. She said this is not some sort of xenophobia. Xenophobia targets all foreigners. This is Afrophobia, and I agree with her totally, because you saw a video where one of the gentlemen that were championing the anti-migrant protest saw a German, and the lady said, "I'm German, but I've been here for a couple of years." It's like, "Ooh, you're part of us." If white German woman, no, you're part of us. I also saw one where a BBC reporter from the UK came and said, "But I am a foreigner as well." And they said, "No, but you're white, so it's good. You're welcome. We will not attack you." He said, "Why not? Why would you leave me, who is a foreigner, and attack your African brothers who are just your neighbors?" He said, "Because those ones come, they take our job," and all that. And you have to also bear in mind that there's no evidence that foreigners have come and taken jobs. If anything, there are black foreigners or black migrants who have come and added to the economy. They've established businesses that has even employed South Africans. A lot of South Africans are also groaning because factory workers have also gone, and just some of those expertise that some South Africans have not developed over the years.
Well, Joy, thank you once again, because this is something we should talk about. It is something we should look at. I'm always very sad when I get to talk about these, because I would say that we are gradually not growing to have one Africa. Some time ago, I was among those who had moved that we should have, how do I put it? There was this notion about one Nigeria. A time came when we were preaching one Nigeria. I was among those who said, yes, let's push for one Nigeria. And gradually we moved from one Nigeria to say, let's push for one Africa. In fact, at a point in time when I had to travel to some countries in Africa, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the joy because I could meet, I think I went to Togo, and when I got to Togo, at the market in Togo, the first thing I heard was our local palace here. We had the Igbo people, they were busy saying bia, bia, bia. And then I was surprised when I heard...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was surprised when I heard my own language. A woman said, hey, Medio, my son come. And I turned and said, this is... so that's Africa. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So seeing this happening in South Africa is sad.
Just imagine how beautiful it is when you travel, you leave Akwa Ibom, in your instance, and you come to Abuja, and in some crowded market, you overhear somebody speak.
Exactly.
There's that joy. There's that
it radiates. It comes from within.
Yeah,
and you'll be very happy.
Now, exactly. Now, for some of us who often travel for international events, imagine that now happens not in your continent,
right?
Right somewhere in Italy,
exactly.
And you're overhearing a phone conversation, and the person is speaking Ibibio. The joy you cannot contain. Why then would we not see that togetherness? And I agree with my friend who is South African. I have a South African in Nigeria. She has the time of her life. Nigeria.
Yesterday I was talking to a friend. We met in Cameroon. She's a Cameroonian. And then I talked to another one earlier on who was actually from Lagos going to Yola, a Cameroonian. He doesn't understand English at all. So I'm actually doing the work of translating. So when there's the call at the airport, he has to put all the calls so that I'll hear if it is his flight, and then I guided him till he actually boarded. So this is a Cameroonian in Nigeria traveling.
I'm even talking about the horrific experiences that Nigeria.
Yeah, so I'm saying, imagine that we had such here.
But it's so beautiful because back here we couldn't be bothered. Live and let's live. All your South Africa, tell your brothers to leave our brothers alone.
You understand?
I wish we would get there.
We just wish, just like you said, that we would get to a certain point where we'll not have to bother about where you come from. But we'll be, in fact, I talked to the Cameroonian friend yesterday, and I said, my French is gradually dying because the environment I find myself, because it's English, is hostile to the French. So I'm going to be calling you every now and here to make sure that I keep my French going. And he said, yes, fine, no problem. And then I will teach him English. And he said,
it works for you.
What am I going to stand to lose if I teach you the English and you teach me the French?
Everybody should watch Razep Africa. Everybody should love Africa. Let's come together and be united. Let's replicate what's happening in Ghana, where the Ghanaian president is ensuring everyone comes together. Come one, come all. If you like the African experience, come to Ghana. And this reverberates and have what's it called now? It has the dominoes effect, where you open your doors and of course businesses come. They are perceived as hospitable. So you and I can say, let the Razep African team go for for a vacation, and you would think Ghana.
Yeah,
because
right.
by the time you think of visa processes within Africa, you're like, nah. But Ghana is making it simple for everyone.
Yeah.
And and we have a beautiful, beautiful tourist.
The major aspect of what you've said in all, the one you said earlier that actually took me very closely to heart was the one you said, it's not all Nigerians that actually went into South Africa, that went in there to grab opportunities there. Some actually went with opportunities, established those opportunities, and employed South Africans. So let's say that you're saying we should go, and we now decided to close up our businesses and go. Your people also would get to lose out.
Well, we will end with a story of a lady who she had an interview with some South Africans that were groaning that the government has not offered them those shops that have been closed, because according to her, shops are now closed because the foreigners who were manning the shops have gone. And she's asking them, what are you doing? These shops, you have not occupied them. Say the landlords are putting very expensive prices on the. They're like, the government should come and pay for these shops so that we can work on them. Oh really? But that's it for Razep Africa this morning. Rest assured, we'll be back next time with so much more. I am Joy Asaye.
And always glad to be here every day. It has been Monday to Friday, and we'll return on Monday. I am Wime and Netia. Good morning.